Well, a website that promotes infidelity wants to dress up a downtown Toronto streetcar with one of its ads. We'll show you that, hopefully shortly. Now, if all goes as planned, AshleyMadison.com will be spending more than $200,000 for the ads. And the Toronto-based company is saying it's been given the green light to fully wrap at least one streetcar in ads that are set to get underway in January. There would also be ads inside the streetcars. And if the pilot project is a success, 9 other streetcars could get the Ashley Madison makeover as well. And for more on this, David Quist is the Executive Director of the Institute of Marriage and Family Canada. He joins us now in Ottawa. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
Well, as you know, the Transit Commission is now, at last word, reconsidering what we understand was initial approval that was given for Ashley Madison to run these ads on the streetcars. In your view, what's wrong with allowing this kind of campaign to move forward?
Well, I'm sorry, you're breaking up just a little bit, Jacqueline, but actually I heard from one source late this afternoon that the TTC has now rejected the bid by the Ashley Madison to wrap their vehicles, which, if that's the case, I'm very pleased that they made that decision. They put a higher moral standard over the input of dollars and cents, even though that they're touched by the recession days at this particular time.
Okay, so, I mean, if it is in fact a rejection, are you happy with that?
I am, actually. I think that this is a good step forward. The last thing that I think that the people of Toronto need is a bus running around, or streetcar running around their city that encourages people to have an affair. I think the TTC has an opportunity here to actually make a little good public relations coup on this and say, we're committed to you. Perhaps life is short, remain committed. And they could encourage actually relationships with spouses by staying committed and ensuring good communication skills and counseling, in the case may be, for those people that we would be considering affairs
instead.
Okay,
interesting pitch there. Life is short, stay committed, rather than have an affair, which is what the ad would have read. But let's talk about this because, Ashley Madison may be back again, who knows, in a year or a few months or whatever the timeline might be. And some people have been, debating this. What's wrong with allowing such an ad? And here again, life is short, have an affair. That's what would have been on one of the streetcars. When we advertise, or certainly when there has been ads for things such as liquor or cigarettes, some might say, well, that's advertising, arguably a certain lifestyle. What's wrong with those kinds of ads versus this kind of ad?
Well, that's a fair point, but we also have some restrictions on those types of advertising. We put our cigarettes behind closed doors now so they're not easily seen by juveniles and those people that don't want to be confronted by that. We have certain types of ads that are only after a certain hour at night so that it's not running 24/7. This is not a freedom of speech issue because we know that Ashley Madison can continue to run their website and will continue to make money off of moral failings of many different people. What this really is saying we have a moral level in our society that many people are not wanting to sink below, regardless of where they come from. They certainly don't want to sink below that level.
But you've heard the other side of this, right? People who say, well, look, if it is a moral issue, why is the Transit Commission or my city deciding on what is a moral issue? That's for me to decide. Why should a city or any politician weigh in on that? And what do you say to that and the argument that, free speech should be allowed on this?
Well, I think that one way to look at it is to what's happening in the alleged affairs of Tiger Woods south of the border, and there's a lot of outrage from people. If you look at the blog sites and reporting, letters to the editor, if you look even today, this TTC issue has been a hot issue. And if you look what people are commenting on, they are not impressed by this whole thing, and they say that this is not a good way to balance the budget of the TTC, that if indeed the TTC has turned down this, I'm pleased that they've put a moral barrier up to say we're not just going to take money to advertise anything and everything on the streets of Greater Toronto.
Well, just a quick question before I let you go. I mean, we know that there's many government-run programs that are there to support children, right? In the case of marriage breakdown, or support women and various other victims of marriage breakdown, if you will. So, I mean, many say that's an argument for not allowing these ads. But if this company comes back, and presumably they will, what about the idea of a disclaimer? Would that fly? If, we allowed the ad to read as they were suggesting, life is short, have an affair, but a disclaimer saying the city does not represent these views or something? Is there a compromise to be made here?
I'm not sure that there really is. This is, our public transit system is something that we see as a public good, and I don't think that's in the best interest of the public good when divorce and failed marriages across the country costs taxpayers millions and millions of dollars a year. I don't think that this is really in the best interest of the public.
All right, so it doesn't sound like it'll fly this time around, but we'll be watching. We may be back talking about it. David Quist with the Institute of Marriage and Family Canada. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.